basketball player in the world?
I like your curiosity. I'll tell you. Muggsy Bogues is the shortest player in the National Basketball Association history, listed at 5 feet 3 inches tall. He was drafted 12th overall by the Washington Bullets in 1987.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I'm glad you asked.
AI Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
I've been curious. Who exactly is the youngest swimmer in the world?
Oh, I'll tell you. Alzin Tarek, age 10, is the youngest and fastest swimmer in World Championships history. Tarek has been swimming competitively since the age of 4.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm glad I wowed you.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Which club is the first to win Champions League?
That's very easy. Real Madrid. The first Champions League was won by Real Madrid during the 1955 and 1956 season.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Sports in a Jiffy on our Impact Radio 102.1 FM Lagos.
Sports in a Jiffy is live on your radio Wednesday edition of the show. Today, 29th day in the month of October, year 2025, and this is the first installment of the show on Sports in a Jiffy. Later this evening, we'll be back here for the Sports Hub show between 6 p.m. down to 7 p.m. We'll be doing 1 hour of banter, 1 hour of rich, 1 hour of views, reviews, and all of the interviews. Your early morning sports tonic right here, 72 in bits and in pieces. Tiptoeing all of the major stories currently making the rounds in the ever exciting, ever dynamic, and sometimes controversial world of sport. 7-0 with the upset suffered by the tennis ATP number 1 Carlos Alcaraz and his 17 games on winning streak are coming to a halt. Absolute stunner from the British Cameron Norrie at the Paris Masters third round event from last night. Also, we're taking a look at the Nigerian under 17 girls, the Flamingos, who have now been bundled out of the World Cup after losing to Italy 4-0. And Coach Bankole Oluokere saying, look here, it's hurtful, it's painful. This particular defeat is something that I cannot swallow very, very fast. Because don't forget that the last time out, they made it through the quarterfinals, and also they were the eventual bronze winners of the last edition of the Under-17 Women's World Cup. But this time around, they have been bundled out in the round of 16. Not too good for Coach Bankole Oluokere and the crop of ladies that is paroling this time around. Also talk about Justin Madugu's ladies. That's talking about the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who have now made it to the African Women's Cup of Nations come 2026, defeating the Benin Amazons. They played a 1-0 draw yesterday, but on aggregate, it's 3-1 on aggregate, making sure that they cement their place, becoming undefeated and not undisputable when it comes to female football on the African soil. They'll be going right there to Morocco to defend the title they won the last time out. And Demola Lookman also finally got his season off to a start yesterday evening, and netting a particular goal that salvaged a 1-0 draw for his team, Atalanta, against AC Milan right there. The player believing that he is not hit the form yet, and a lot of Nigerians are putting the prayers up right now that he better hit that particular form that will get him his mojo back ahead of the couple of matches that will be played in November. That's talking about the playoffs of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and also the AFCON that will be happening in December. Atlanta still remain very much unbeaten in the Italian Serie A as we speak, but Napoli are waxing strong. They defeated Leeds in the game last night as well. And for Napoli, the big question is, can they do a second consecutive Scudetto? Big question. But guess what? We are right about here, and we are sat for that particular moment. Don't forget that one of their key players, Kevin De Bruyne, might just be out of the season for them already, considering that injury suffered during the weekend. We'll also be taking a look at the fallout that happened during the El Clasico over the weekend, and also what Real Madrid going to be doing to Vinicius Jr. Is he going to be punished, or they will just look over that particular one? We'll bring you updates from the EFL Cup, the DFB Pokal, and also the Copa del Rey, as well as other Serie A games on the show this morning. But don't forget, I'll just be right here to serve it to you in bits and in pieces, because I tell you what, whether you're a sports person or just someone who loves the thrill of the game, or maybe an athlete yourself, this is the right place for you to be, because the early bird has gone around the world to catch the scores, and I'm here more than willing to serve them to you just the way you like it. One big thing we shall be going on tonight, that's talking about in the EFL Cup, and the question is, which of the themes will be going on? Keep it logged in right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Ayodeji Ajiboye is my name. Absolute honor to be your host on the show this morning. Once again, I will be here to serve it to you later this evening. We'll be dissecting all of the hot topics, going through the nitty-gritty from 6 p.m. down to 7 p.m. on the Sports Hub show. A such reminder that we're currently streaming live on our YouTube channel at impact 102.1 FM right there on YouTube, and our Facebook fan page at Empire Radio 102.1 FM. To the switch of the back of the net right about now, we'll be getting the show on the road. I will start with us coming through from the home front. Let's start with talks as regarding the Nigerian Football Federation and the latest happenings that it's more like an outburst of fans right there on social media, and it has got to the floor of the House right there. Talk about the House of Representatives yesterday resolved to set up a special committee to investigate financial grants advanced to the Nigerian Football Federation by FIFA and also the Confederation of African Football, totaling about $25 million. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance during Tuesday's plenary, co-sponsored by Lagos lawmaker Adedayo Adeshola and his Rivers State counterpart Felix Nweke. According to the motion, which states that to support motion to support further misuse of FIFA and CAF grants by the Nigerian Football Federation, which is a lot of people believe that is largely part of the poor outings that Nigerian teams have been, encountering in recent times, and that's talking about the various national themes. And away from that story right now, still got more stories for you on the show this morning. I talk about female football, despite being held to 1-0 draw by the Benin Republic in Abeokuta on Tuesday. 10 times African champions Nigeria qualified for 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco thanks to that 3-1 aggregate win. Defender Ashley Prompte opening and scoring accounts for the Super Falcons in the 13th minute, but it didn't set the tone for a whitewash as she Smith Jibril leveled the matters in the second half of that particular game. The Amazons turned out to be credible fighters against the African champions as they approach the game with vigor, passion and vibrance. Pacey and nimble-footed Dosi Jamen Onfo and Yenedo Romain Gandono are the lead orchestrators in the game. I was talking about that game from yesterday. The coach of the Benin Republic side definitely come out to talk about the reason why he was crying during the game last night, talking about a bit of health challenges being the main cause of his cry in the game yesterday. You can tell that particular one definitely got him. That's talking about the coach Uzeri Abdullahi. We reviewed that his emotional outburst at full time and yesterday's game. I was seen in tears after the final whistle, and when he spoke to reporters, I mentioned to them that he continues to face difficult personal circumstances, and he got overwhelmed by that. Since I've been going through some rather difficult times concerning my health. So hopefully, I was thinking that if the team were able to make it through against Super Falcons of Nigeria, that will be coming as a solace to him, and also maybe some form of booster that he needs to go on with his life. And away from that story right now, still taking more thoughts coming through from the on front on the show this morning. In other sports, Africa's number one in the 67 kilogram category, Elizabeth Yanacho, has made history by clinching a bronze medal at the ongoing World Taekwondo Championship in Wuxi, China. The feat guarantees Nigeria its first World Taekwondo Championship medal in 2 decades, marking a remarkable comeback for the nation on the global stage. Yanacho delivered a stellar performance in the women's 67 kilogram category, defeating Uzbekistan's Sobrinova Ozoda in a 2 fiercely contested rounds, 8-6 and 10-9, to book a place in the semi-finals. And the achievement comes at the time of renewed optimism within the Nigerian sports ecosystem, following successful elections of new sports federation leaders, including new president of the Nigerian Taekwondo Federation, Tayo Bukuola. Another news coming through on the show this morning. The Nigerian Cricket Federation has also confirmed the registration of 9 teams for the maiden NCF Indoor Cricket Super 6, scheduled to hold on Saturday, November 1 and Sunday, November 2 at the Indoor Sports Hall Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. The Indoor Cricket Tournament is a modified game recognized by the International Cricket Council. Six-a-side cricket is a very short form of the sport designed to be played by teams of only 6 players. Each team receives 1 innings with a maximum of 5 overs in the game. Amongst the teams that have signed up to participate in the tournament are the Northern Cosmopolitan Cricket and the Cricket Club of Abuja Tigers, Pakistan Embassy Eagles. There's also Millennium Gladiators, amongst other teams that will be playing in the particular cricket game being organized by the Nigerian Cricket Federation. Before we go away from other sports on the show this morning, a bit of shake-up in the boxing hierarchy this morning, with Nigeria's world heavyweight boxing title prospect Efe Ajagba retaining his position as the 10th best fighter in the category in the latest Ring Magazine rankings, but there's no place for former world champion Anthony Joshua in the top 10. World heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk is still the number 1 heavyweight, followed by another former world champion Tyson Fury. And since Joshua lost to Daniel Dubois in a world champion bout earlier this year, the London 2012 Olympics gold medalists has gradually faded away from the rankings, with such new prospects as Moses Ituma and also Fabio Wadley coming into the reckoning in the world of boxing. Usyk definitely remaining on top spot, like I mentioned, and asking right about now. Away from that now, quickly, let's go to other sports. We'll skedaddle to Europe, and I'll start thoughts coming through from the world of tennis on the show. As I said when I was signing this morning, Britain's Cameron Norrie said his win over Carlos Alcaraz was the biggest of his career after beating the world number 1 to reach the last 16 of the Paris Masters. Norrie, who lost to Spaniard in straight set at Wimbledon earlier this year, fought back from 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 in the second round of the ATP Masters 1000 tournament in Paris. According to him, this is a huge win for me, who missed both the Paris Olympics and US Open last year because of the forearm injury. And guess what? That particular loss by Carlos Alcaraz put a halt to his 17 games winning streak. Alcaraz definitely will not be able to swallow this one in due time. Cause would have thought that Alcaraz will not be making it to the finals of this particular one. Big stunner it is, and it's indeed a good stunner coming through from that particular one. And away from the ATP right now, going straight into the WTA, because I'll always tell you that whatever your agenda is, I've got you on my agenda. An emotional Kitty Butler retired from a first-round match at the Hong Kong Open with injury. The Britain 29-year-old called for the trainer and was in tears after deciding she could not continue when trailing 20-year-old Filipino Alexandra Iala 6-4 to 1. Butler has won just 8 of her past 21 main draw matches, failing to progress beyond the second round of the tournament since the Nottingham Open in June. And speaking after Butler left the court, Iala told the crowd, "I'm a little out of words. I think it's time of the year is a tough moment for a lot of players, physically and mentally, being the end of the season." Don't forget that a couple of several high-profile players have ended their 2025 campaign prematurely over the recent weeks after suffering injury or health issues. You can talk about the likes of British number 1 Emma Raducanu, who caught time on her season. There's also the former world number 1 Igor Swiatek, who complained of the season being too long and too intense, and a couple of other players in the men's category. Talk about the likes of Jack Draper or Garuni, all of these players who have called it a time on their 2025-2026 season, and we are hoping that they are back stronger and better for the new season 2026-2027. Away from tennis talks on the show this morning, we'll go straight into the world of the NBA, where we'll bring thoughts coming through from the matches that were played from Tuesday night, that's Wednesday morning, right here in Nigeria. Steve Curry definitely helps the Warriors to beat Clippers with a strong all-round display overnight. Stephen Curry scored 19 points and made 8 assists as the Golden State Warriors defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 98-79 points early this morning. Curry shot 7 for 15 from the field and guided his team's attack with smart passing and leadership. It was more of a balanced performance from the Warriors, who had 4 players score 20 or more points in their previous wins over Memphis. And this time around, Curry focused on setting up his teammates rather than doing all the scoring by himself. An amazing one right there. I'll tell you how selfless he's become in the last couple of matches. And this win now has now ended Warriors' 7-game losing streak against the Clippers and kept them unbeaten at home this season 3-0. Golden State will now travel to Milwaukee on Thursday night, while the Clippers will be hosting the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday. Other stories coming through from the world of basketball this morning. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 31 points to help defending NBA champions Oklahoma City Thunder maintain a perfect start to the season. The Thunder have won all 5 games this time and lead the way in the Western Conference after beating Sacramento Kings 107-101 points at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma. Gilgeous-Alexander, last season most valuable player, is the league's joint leading scorer this campaign with 143 points. Oklahoma trailed by 3 points going into the fourth quarter, but took the lead with just 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining before holding on for victory. They will now be hosting Washington Wizards this Friday, while the Kings will travel to Chicago Bulls on Thursday. Elsewhere, Giannis Antetokounmpo maintained a strong start to the season as the Milwaukee Bucks overturned a 14-point deficit to beat New York Knicks 1-2-1 to 1-1-1 at the Fiserv Forum earlier this morning. Antetokounmpo scored 23 of his game high 37 points in the second half to spark the comeback and guide the Bucks to their third win of the season. Away from that, Philadelphia 76ers also remain unbeaten after 4 games, following a trailing 139 to 134 overtime win at the Washington Wizards earlier this morning as well. And now quickly, we move away from the world of basketball on the show this morning. But before we move away, don't forget that there will be other matches that we played this midnight. Talk about the likes of Eastern Rockets hosting the Toronto Raptors. Cleveland Cavaliers will be hosting Boston Celtics. Orlando Magic will be up against Detroit Pistons, while Atlanta Hawks will be up against the Brooklyn Nets. All this game later tonight, right there in the NBA regular season. And away from that, now going straight into the world of football, bringing you a recap of all the matches that were played from last night in the Italian Serie A after a slow start to the 2025-2026 season, with Atalanta. Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman finally got his first goal of the season for the club yesterday night, scoring in their Serie A match the 9 game against AC Milan. Lookman scored in 35 minutes of the game to level the scores 1-1 after Italian midfielder Samuel Ricci had opened scoring for the visitors in the 4th minute. The Nigerian unleashed a magnificent shot in the top net after being put through by Mario Pasalic. I was watching the game yesterday, and someone beside me said he hits that ball as though his life depends on it, because of course going into March 9 days in the league and you've not scored a goal, for someone of his pedigree in football right about now, because don't forget he's still the current African best footballer out of Africa as we speak, so it can tell you that so much is on him right about now, and he feels the weight of having to deliver for his team. Of course, he was able to do that particular one yesterday night, getting that particular goal for the team and making sure that they grab salvage a point for themselves. They are dropping down the pecking order, but we hope that the team is going to rejuvenate, and also Ademola Lookman will get his mojo back for both his club and also the country Nigeria, because most importantly we need him for the next couple of matches that we played in November and also the AFCON come December. He got the man of the match award from that game last night, an amazing one right there. They are still very much unbeaten, but yes, 5 straight draws is what they've suffered this season. 5 straight draws, guys. While for AC Milan, they continue to lose their ground in the Serie A title race. Talk about AC Milan losing their ground in Serie A title race. Another thing who are definitely waxing strong in the Italian Serie A is Napoli, who beat Lecce 1-0 to stay top of the Italian Serie A. It was a hard-fought contest for them, but definitely they were able to do it, all thanks to Andre Francangisa, who headed home the only goal in the 69 minutes to make sure that his team are now back on top. Napoli now have 21 points from 9 league fixtures, 3 points ahead of Roma, who will be hosting Parma later this evening, and definitely they have more like inferior goal difference to Roma right there. Away from that, going into cup matches that were also played from last night in the German DFB Pokal. It's been said that Borussia Dortmund eliminated Eintracht Frankfurt from the German Cup in the second round yesterday, winning 4-2 on penalties after the match finished 1-1. Dortmund were faultless from the spot, with Fabio Silva and Niklas Sule, Kane Chukwuemeka and Felix Mecha all converting, while Isu Dewan and Fares Chaibi both missed penalties for the home side. Frankfurt's balls Mario Götze and Angas Knopf both scored out. The Dortmund combined to put the home side in front after 7 minutes. Götze threaded the ball through the Dortmund defense, allowing Knopf to stroke home the goal right there. Okay. Other matches that were also played in the German DFB Pokal from last night. Don't forget that I'm 17 bits and in pieces on the show this morning. I'll be back here later this evening between 6 p.m. down to 7 p.m. For more talks on the show, where we'll do 1 hour of banter, 1 hour of rage, 1 hour of viewers reviews, and most definitely putting the interviews straight to you as well. Other matches, EDM also lost to Hamburger SV. Hertha Berlin defeated Elsberg 3-0. Wolfsburg lost at home to Austin Kiel. Augsburg lost at home to Bochum. Borussia Mönchengladbach defeated Karlsruhe 3-1. Energy Cottbus lost at home to RB Leipzig, and St. Pauli played out 2-2 draw against Hoffenheim in regulation time, and St. Pauli went ahead after penalties 8-7. I already gave you the result of matches that were played in the Italian Serie A from last night, and definitely there were also games in the Spanish Copa del Rey, with likes of Valencia moving on after winning 5-0. Getafe thumped Inter de Valderrama 11-0. Granada defeated Roda 5-1. Those are the Spanish La Liga side that played in the Copa del Rey from last night, which also includes likes of Sevilla winning 4-1 against Toledo in that particular encounter. And in the English League Cup last 16, Brentford defeated Grimsby Town 5-0. The same Grimsby that showed Manchester United the exit door from the cup. Moses Jensen, K. Leo Porter, Nelson, Fabio Cavallo, and also Collins are getting on the score sheet. And let me tell you what, the same set of players that scored for Brentford also made sure that they got an assist. So it's a goal and assist for all of the goal scorers for Brentford yesterday night. An amazing one right there. I'm making sure that they are now going through into the next round of the English League Cup. Wycombe Wanderers also played out 1-1 draw against Fulham, with Fulham going ahead after penalties, 5-1 penalties. Alex Iwobi also made sure he got his spot kick right on for the team yesterday. And later tonight, we'll be seeing other games in the English League Cup. Like I mentioned at the start of the show, one big team will be going home today. It is now left to see which of the teams will be going home. Arsenal will be hosting Brighton and Hove Albion at about 7:45 p.m. Liverpool will be hosting Crystal Palace. Don't forget that Liverpool and Crystal Palace, they definitely have something between themselves in the last couple of matches. And Crystal Palace have been riding on the waves of Liverpool in the last matches that they've played. Don't forget that they defeated them in the FA Cup, defeated them in the Community Shield, and also they will be looking to send them out of the Carabao Cup later today as well. And away from that, Swansea City will be hosting Manchester City, Wolverhampton Wanderers will be hosting Chelsea, and Newcastle United will be hosting Tottenham Hotspur 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Matches will also be underway in the Spanish Copa del Rey first round, where Osasuna will be playing against City St. Jordi. Likes of Mallorca will be in action against Athletic St. George. Likes of Real Valladolid will also be in action later tonight. Villarreal will be in action. Rayo Vallecano will also be in action later tonight. And the German DFB Pokal, Stuttgart will be traveling to Mainz 05. Bayern Munich to travel to Cologne. Union Berlin will be up against Arminia Bielefeld. Paderborn will be hosting Bayern Leverkusen. Shakhtar 04 will be up against Darmstadt 98. In Italian Serie A, Como will be hosting Hellas Verona. Juventus will be up against Udinese. Roma will be hosting Parma. Bologna will be hosting Torino. Genoa will be hosting Cremonese. Inter Milan will be up against Fiorentina for later this evening. And the French Ligue 1, Le Havre will be up against Brest. Lorient will be up against Paris Saint-Germain. Metz will be up against Arsenal. Nice will be hosting Lille. Marseille will be hosting Angers. Nantes will be hosting Monaco. Paris FC will be hosting Olympique Lyonnais. Strasbourg will be up against Auxerre. Toulouse will be hosting Rennes later this evening right there in the French League. Gone Sporting a Jiffy right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. And here's what I call it a wrap on the package for this morning. Many thanks to everyone who's been a part of the show. Don't forget that you can keep track with this update and more by following us across all social media platforms. We are currently live on our YouTube channel at Empire 102.1 FM, on Facebook fan page at Empire Radio 102.1 FM, and on X at Impact 102.1 FM. Ayodeji Ajiboye signing out this morning. I'll always tell you to stay sporty, to stay active, to drink enough water, to stay hydrated. Go out there.